Welcome back to Vertical Thoughts.
Welcome back. What he said.
My name is Kobe.
This is Kobe.
You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Absolutely.
As well?
My name's Xavier.
I'm Liam. They know me.
I would
Do they,
hope so.
though?
They know me.
All right.
They know this voice.
And today we're going to be talking about other
Sports.
versus climbing. So
Man stuff, right?
man's. Well,
you're a minor, so
yeah.
you don't know about that man
I don't
stuff.
know about that.
By popular
You'll
request,
learn one day, kid.
the return. We have the return. You're going to learn as the show goes on who the frequent guests are, and they're just like my local crew pretty much. Are going to be the most common appearances here on the show
Just want to hear.
with scattered in guest speakers. Like recently we had Katie Jo Myers, pepper and a little Paul Robinson. You know how it be sometimes. But by popular request, Kobe is back on Vertical Thoughts.
Kobe Daludado.
I've never heard these requests.
Yeah, well, they're directed to me.
Okay. All right.
By popular request.
think
My
it's just-
popular request.
It's just because Adam Andre knocked
He's a
on my door.
huge fan, dude. Adam Andre reached out to me and he was like, bring Kobe. I can't do his accent.
Did
I'm
Brooke
sorry.
Rabbit say anything?
Brooke Rabbit said, bring Kobe back on the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's all he wants to hear.
All right.
Hopefully she's watching right now.
She's probably watching and listening. Brooke, we're huge fans. Thank you for coming to our competition.
Yes.
And you made Kobe's day by taking a picture with him.
Yes.
He's stoked.
And
Look at him.
I can't stop smiling, Dave. Still have not washed this hand.
Oh, no.
I'm totally joking. I washed my hands.
If Adam Andre showed up in my gym
Huge fan.
and touched a climb, I'd take those holds home. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I'd bring my own drill.
These are mine now.
What happened to the clock?
Put him up on above, on the ceiling above my bed and just stare at him while falling to sleep.
Just record his screams and fall asleep.
Listening to him,
every
some
night.
Adam Andre ASMR.
2 hours of Adam Andre ASMR.
Oh, dude, it would be so bad.
All right, new
We're not starting over.
No.
This is all making the cut, dude.
no.
Keep rolling.
New topic.
New topic.
Okay.
Adam Andre screams ASMR.
All right.
I'm going to have
That's-
Adam Andre on the show to talk about Adam Andre's screams.
Good.
Good.
I would hope.
It's going to be, the title's going to be Adam Andre Screams with Adam Andre. And I'm going to have him walk me through the different kinds of screams,
Yeah. And what they mean and what they imply.
the translations,
Yeah.
And then you gotta do
I'd
some
watch that.
clickbait.
some clickbait. Adam Andre screams at me in my own studio, question mark. And the thumbnail's just him wide open mouth. But I enlarge his mouth so it's
Like a
this
big
big.
Steven Tyler mouth. It's like
And then at the end put sends first V19 or something.
Since first V19 inside the Vertical Thought studio, question mark, exclamation mark, question mark, exclamation mark. Hey, that's clickbaity enough for me.
dude,
That's-
I
click-
shit. Yeah.
I would.
kidding me?
All right.
What's this
All
about?
right. We're here to talk about sports. We are three athletes, right? I've been for most of my life. I know you did a lot of sports.
Love sports.
Love
Just
sports. Look
love
at this guy.
So it went.
Freaking athlete, dude.
I'm very skinny.
Very skinny. What are you talking about, dude? Take it off. Let's see. Take off that beautiful Patagucci shirt.
I'm a minor.
He's not a minor.
I'm not a minor. I'm not a
You
minor.
hear that, Utah?
He's of the age of consent to
I-
take off his Patagonia long sleeve tee on this show.
Yeah, I spent way too much money on this.
Flex into the
long sleeve
microphone
to-
for the viewers to listen to. All right. So, Kobe, we'll start with you because you're closest to me. What sport?
I think he
I'm
means
honored.
distance wise.
No, you definitely.
Because we're
meant-
closest, all right? Xavier, just back off.
All right, I'm done, guys.
I'm done with it. What sports did you play?
So growing up, I first got into football, believe it or not, and then I didn't grow at all. So football is a very physical and
Contact.
Yeah.
yeah, you
Size
need,
intensity,
you need-
especially as a kid.
yeah, you need size. So I was just pushed around, and I also started soccer when I was young, but football was that was my
The one. Yeah.
it was the one. And so I was like, all right, I'm gonna work hard on this, but at the same time, still played soccer. But then when I didn't grow, I was like, all right, guess I got no other choice. I also tried basketball, which went terribly.
I was like,
for
how'd that
one
go?
season. I probably got blocked
Dude, I would love
Yeah.
to pack you, bro.
Dude, I was actually pretty bad, not gonna lie. But so I got into soccer and then just kind of kept on that path ever since then, dude. And
Yeah.
so
You still play actively at all?
I do.
Cool.
Adult leagues,
Really?
sick. Yeah. And then I'm also I have a tryout for CBU, Cal Baptist University team,
Yo.
coming up
Playing
soon.
college ball.
Dang,
My boy.
He's
Maybe.
official.
College ball.
Maybe, but
How many A's is that? Is that
Mm,
showing off my sports knowledge? Dude, that's
not sure
That's
actually.
quintuple A ball right there.
Run it.
It's Division 1.
Run it. Division A.
Division
Division
quadruple
1 single A.
No, it's like double A,
I don't know.
double
Of
triple,
college sports.
I don't
quadruple,
know how that works.
quintuple,
With soccer or
Dodeca.
college sports.
dodeca.
Dodeca
A.
is not. Fair enough.
It's 12 A's
All right.
for all of you.
So predominantly football leading into soccer.
Yes. So, yeah, I realized I couldn't do football, and so I just went into soccer. And honestly, I'm really glad because, dude, soccer is so sick.
Agreed.
So
Soccer is dope.
Xavier,
Soccer.
your sports history
Football.
in 50 words or less.
50 words. And I just.
Oh, God.
48.
Damn. 47. I started off playing baseball when I was like a little kid, like t-ball into like, coach pitch and all that stuff. And then after a while, just kind of burned out on that. Went into football like through middle school. So I was always like team sports. Similar to Kobe though, like I didn't grow until like halfway into high school to like my sophomore.
Xavier's a
junior
grown
year.
man now. I'm still a
but-
little child. Although I am not a minor, I am a minor in many ways.
Your seat's a little higher up than his though, so in the
Okay,
video they
yeah,
can't tell.
Let me.
Put
For all
this into
those who watch,
perspective, I forgot there was a camera in here.
Yeah.
watch this.
Either way,
Yeah.
I played football. It was a lot of fun and everything, but once again, it was just kind of like, all right, I'm kind of tired of this. And then I jumped into soccer in high school as well.
Cool.
And that was pretty much the last sport I played until I started climbing. Yeah.
So I also played soccer. So let me ask you a question. Did we just start the most elite 3-man soccer team
Yes.
ever known? Like the God
Yes.
Squad
Quite possibly.
of indoor soccer
I'm
right
a hell
now?
of a sweeper. What can I say?
Dude,
Sweeper keeper.
Sweeper keeper. It doesn't get to the keeper if the sweeper's doing his job. Right?
you just got roasted on live television, dude.
Live television.
Adam Andra listens to this, bro.
I'm a minor.
He's going to power.
His go-to safe phrase. I'm a
Safe
minor.
phrase. I'm a minor for anything.
So I dabbled in all kinds of sports as a kid. Or I should say my parents dabbled me in all kinds of sports
Yeah.
as a kid.
Fair enough.
This kid's got some angst. He's got to do something with
Yeah.
his life. So t-ball, I did also t-ball. I think I played like a game of football at some point, probably flag football. I had anger management pretty bad as a kid.
So you should have played more football.
Contact sports
Yeah.
were not great for me
Oh.
Oh, because
because I would try to kill people.
Yeah, it just didn't work.
I would
that
get
way.
tackled
Okay.
once and then I'd be like,
You're gonna
"You're
die.
gonna die today, Mom, Dad,
I need something sharp.
dear diary, I almost killed again today."
I've gone 35 days without incident.
I still remember it like it was 35 days ago. No, so I was not like going through like anger management classes and stuff. Contact sports, even like sports in general, were kind of weird for me at a time. I played even roller hockey. I played like
sick.
every sport, dude.
That's great. I wrestled for a year. That was weird.
Yeah, I never
Yeah.
got into like baseball.
I did karate.
Oh, I never got. I did like a couple tryout classes of karate,
Yeah.
and then it just didn't work with my.
I was not
schedule.
flexible enough
Dude.
Schedule or
to do
like
karate.
physically.
physically.
Yeah.
But now
My
my
body.
boy can get heel hooks above his head.
Yeah, don't let
And-
Liam fool you.
As long as my other leg is close to
And-
it.
French lame and
That sounds like breakfast. What's a French lame?
Yeah, what is a French LeMay? Isn't Alexander LeMay a setter?
I'm just making up words right now.
Oh, okay.
Fair enough. Don't you mean the French bicycle, my signature move?
Yes, that's what
Which
it
is actually
the French
just
bicycle.
avoid bicycle, but
Yes.
we call it the French bicycle.
Yes. Yes.
So I also just landed on soccer and did that until
Yeah.
I've talked about it on the show, but I did that until like halfway through high school and then quit sports altogether and then picked up climbing shortly after that.
And became a savage.
So, and then became
A young savage.
the strapling young savage that you see in front of you today.
Yes.
It's a
And
process,
we're
kids.
actually
Take your time.
Yeah.
Well, we're all on the same level now, and Liam is much taller than us.
Yes. Welcome to my show.
Oh, and my name is Kobe, and I was very that was a disappointment to my name. Yeah, so
You sucked ass at basketball.
I did, dude.
Well, I mean, you found your stride a little bit with climbing, right? You probably found your stride with soccer first, but
Yeah, sure. Well,
do you feel good at
say
climbing
that.
ever? Do you ever let yourself feel good?
yes, but
How you feel right now? You feel good?
I don't, because Brooke Rabbit and Nilo, I don't know how to say her last name. I think it's
Nilo
Botley.
Botley. Yeah.
Botley.
Yeah. Shout out to Nilo Botley. That dude's a beast.
You're a homie, bro.
Yeah.
Miss you, dude.
They just to bridge the gap between Nilo Botley and Brooke Rabbit. They both were at the competition that we recently were at.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they absolutely crushed projects that I'm working on.
It's crazy to see in climbing. Like, I always make this comparison like with other sports. So if you are really good at soccer, you can look at like the best soccer player in the world and still kind of understand how they do what they do. You can be like, yeah, I get that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you look at the best climbers in the world, it's just like,
How? What?
It's like, I guess I wasn't born for it.
how don't your fingers
Eh?
fall off?
Yeah.
What's wrong?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Are you human?
No, I don't think they are. You guys ever watch Jimmy Webb climb ever?
Alien.
What the
man.
hell?
Alien man and his sticky
Makes me sad.
fingers.
And like Paul, we had Paul Robinson on the show. Paul Robinson
Paul,
makes
you're
climbing look
savage.
effortless.
Yes.
He is a savage. I'm sure it's not effortless. I'm sure he tries super hard. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But like,
But it's so good.
yeah,
that
his
it looks
techniques.
easy.
His
Yeah.
techniques.
Tech sneaks.
Sorry, this is my first podcast. Never done this before.
This is Liam, by the way.
It's a guest on our show.
Yeah. Vertical
Oh,
thoughts with the vertical thoughts.
Sorry.
But I don't know. It's like, it's a different thing. And also like coming from a third party, like non-biased point of view, someone who doesn't play, let's say football, you look at like, show them like the greatest football players in the world. They're like, that's crazy. They must
Yeah.
practice a lot. You show them the like greatest rock climbers in the world and they're like, oh,
What?
is he? Oh, what's happening?
Yeah, like why would you dedicate your time to that?
Yeah.
That looks.
What is he holding
That
on
doesn't
to?
look fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
nothing? Oh,
Oh, sweet.
cool.
Not gonna lie, when I was making my first time climbing,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is gonna be easy. Like, it's like climbing a ladder, just in different shapes and forms.
Sure. I guess in theory,
Yeah.
at different angles.
Progressively more fucked up ladders.
Yeah. I did not know what I was getting myself into.
Yeah.
And that whole time I was stuck on VBs.
Yeah. The first time climbing is rough.
It is pretty rough. Unless you're...
Addicting also, but rough.
I literally watched Valley Uprising and then got a membership a couple days later, and I was like, "This isn't like the movie, man. What's going on?
It's so
Like,
much harder.
This is like, I don't get it."
Yeah, it's especially like you walk into a bouldering gym after watching like a movie like that, and you're just like, these are short walls, dude.
Where's
I'm
the
about to
nearest
cruise up
V16?
these. Yeah.
Can I set V12s here?
Find the nearest big holds, right? You're like, those are gonna be easy.
Far
Those
from.
big flat hold volumes that are just like textured and like
They'll still kind of.
negative,
I'm not gonna lie.
negative.
They'll still bother me if I warm up on something too low and they're too juggy. I'm like, why do my hands burn? So it like
Yeah.
pulls your skin a weird way. And
slap
that's-
slopers till we bleed.
Put that on my grave, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put my grave on your grave.
And
Down.
then make mine a sloper on your grave.
Kobe's
For anyone
ashes
who wants to come
molded
by.
into a climbing hold.
just rub on.
Kobe's Ashes is also the title of my autobiography coming out this fall.
I'm a mine.
Dear Diary. Today I almost killed Kobe again.
I was stopped because he was a minor.
This time on my show, I would have clickbaited it.
Clickbait. I killed Kobe?
I
Question
killed
mark, question
Kobe
mark,
on my
question-
show? On live television? Brought to you by Disney? Question mark, exclamation mark.
You bet. I killed a minor.
Dude, do you talk about Disney on every podcast?
No. Just most of them.
Just
He just wants to get sued, man. It's
If
gonna be-
we
it's gonna
get
be-
to the point where they notice,
Oh, dude, you.
hopefully.
I'm
Fuck it,
set.
yeah,
I'll
dude,
back
you're
right
good.
off.
Yeah.
I'll be like, sorry guys, I will
Sorry.
cease and desist immediately.
No, you gotta give a little. So then
Negotiate with it.
Yeah.
I'm not messing with Disney, dude.
Yeah, dude, that's how you end up like,
Disney.
like
Disappearing.
gone. Yeah, yeah, like you were history.
That's the corporation
Just say you're a minor and they won't touch you.
I think that's what they specialize in.
Oh shoot!
Cut. Okay. Sports.
Let's step away from
Sports.
Disney. Yeah.
Sports.
We're gonna back off from Disney. Let my man Walt rest in peace.
Oh god.
Dear diary. So, sports.
Okay.
Aside from us generating the greatest three-man soccer team to ever have existed,
Of course.
let me ask you a question. Hypothetical question, of course. We don't talk about anything real on this show. It's a would you rather. And get your mic away from me. Sorry. Let the record show that Kobe's trying to accost me with his microphone right now. This guy's
The
accosting me.
vocabulary on this guy.
If I knew what that meant,
I would be so pissed if I could
so
understand. So, the would you rather, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to give two disclaimers before this. Two clarifications, I should say, not disclaimers. We're going to take out of the equation monetary gain and
Okay.
fame.
Okay.
Those, do not consider those at all when answering this question.
Okay.
And this is going to seem maybe a little silly, and this question has some holes in it, but I promise it's going to drive good discussion. So, would you rather, let's say, catch the winning touchdown at the Super Bowl or climb the first 516? It's a hard one.
When you pull fame and money out of it, yeah,
Exactly.
it becomes a very different discussion. Yeah.
You don't get the money that a pro football player would
I
get.
was
think
gonna
That makes
say,
it
yeah.
easy. Yeah, right.
then I would go with climbing because it's just like,
Because it means more
dude,
to you.
it means more to me. Like,
Yes,
oh
right.
yeah, I caught a touchdown, sweet. But like, dude, like I scaled like I
put
can't
up
imagine
the hardest climb
like a
in the world.
516. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like that's insane, dude. Like that's crazy. Yeah, without money and fame, but
There's so many things that you're not involved with that, and it sounds really selfish when you're talking about a team sport.
Right.
But when you're talking about a touchdown pass, like
Yeah.
your front line had to block the quarterback
Yeah.
so that the quarterback could then throw the pass, and the
And the
pass had
quarterback
to
throw the
make
perfect
it.
pass.
He had to throw
Yeah.
the perfect pass. You had to be in the right spot. The defender had to kind of not be doing his job.
Yep.
There were all these things. With a V16 climb, it's like
Everything
I
has
showed
to
up and I fucking killed it.
Yeah.
Like that's
A plus did.
that's all there really is to it. There's no other variables. Okay, it didn't rain today.
yeah.
Other than that, like what the Rock's not going anywhere. The Rock doesn't change.
Yeah.
You know, it's just you know, and there's a lot more to be said about that.
Exactly. And that's where, like, wherein lies, I think, the key difference between climbing and other sports. And there are other individual sports as well. You know, a lot more things have come to the table even in the last few years, like esports. You know what I mean? Like, even like gamers doing their thing and perfecting their craft. And it's a lot of it, there's similarities and there's differences, but climbing, I think, is really unique. I compared it once on the show to swimming. I think would, in my opinion, be like the closest thing to climbing, just body wise, like body tension wise, I
Okay,
guess.
yeah.
Like swimming and climbing, I feel like use probably similar muscles, actually.
And it's crazy.
Fighting gravity, basically.
Yeah, it's crazy because like climbing just got added to the Olympics, but swimming has been like
Yeah.
It's been so relevant. Yeah.
Climbing has been underexposed for a long
Yeah.
time, especially for what it is. And like you watch it and like watch the people who are the best in the world at it. It looks like something that would be in the
Yeah.
Olympics.
But when you think about the history of like people, like
Yeah.
what's necessary for survival,
yeah.
you're more likely to fall in a lake than you are to end up on the side of a cliff, right?
Absolutely.
So swimming is one of those things that naturally, like, okay, we're gonna have to do it anyway. Let's see who's the best at it,
Yeah.
and that's why we're
Fair
on
enough.
Mount Olympus back in ancient Greece. You
Yep.
know, climbing is kind of like that looks stupid. I think I'll just hike around. You know, like I could just
Yeah.
go around it
Fair enough,
and
yeah.
not have to deal with this.
By
crap.
using the smallest holds in existence.
Yeah, like I don't have
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
You know, swimming you kind of have to do sometimes.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I don't know. That's.
But or if you go back to like the history of climbing and mountaineering, you know what I mean? Where it's like your civilization wants to expand and there's a mountain in the way.
that's true.
Like you got to,
You either go over or around, but
Yeah.
over's a lot faster.
over's a lot faster.
Yeah.
And they did some crazy shit back then
Oh, dude, that's
to get wagons and stuff up over
and,
mountains.
like sheep and like all these
So-
weird,
yeah.
like, it's all the weird things they
You thought
need to get
Don
over.
Wall was sketchy? You should see the stuff the Mormons did going to Utah.
Mormon.
I know.
Going to
I
Utah.
did a pioneer trek. Yes, me.
personally.
Utah.
Yes, go to Utah. But so for me, that was the thing. Is like that actually. While that question has some holes in it, we might be like, "Well, that's apples and oranges." That's like exactly the point.
Yeah.
Is that
Yes.
like climbing is a weird comparison to other sports because climbing's so personal and
It is.
so like reflexive. It's all on you. Anything goes
To
wrong,
an extent.
right?
I think when you start going into, because climbing in being naturally its own sport is going to have a lot of different categories.
Right.
when you think of, it is very personal, maybe on like a boulder problem, but if you're multi-pitching, I mean, we all saw Donwall. That was
Right.
extremely team-driven.
Right. Absolutely.
It's without your partner, you wouldn't have made it.
That's a good point.
Theory.
There is a lot of stuff that I think it's like less publicized in climbing that is super like crew driven. The comparison that I like to make, or the thing that I think of the most, is when you look at like if you guys watch, or if the listeners have watched the Mellow video of the first ascent of Sleepwalker in Red Rocks, Jimmy Webb first ascent looked pretty hard, I guess. I don't know.
Looked tough. Yeah.
I sized it up, and I think if I had some friction labs, I might be able to.
Unicorn dust.
Unicorn dust, baby.
No, but it was cool to see like a climb that was so hard that called out like all the best climbers in the world, and then they all just
putting
started,
them all in the ground.
Yeah, just started falling off of it. Yeah, I mean, Keenan Takahashi is super strong, and like in that video, you see him just fighting that climb. Jimmy Webb is Jimmy Webb, our Lord and Savior James Webb, but he's so strong. You know what I mean? He's like freakishly strong, but. I mean, he's battling for it.
Yeah.
Really fighting for it. And he did it. And he did the first ascent, which is really cool. And then, Daniel Woods, I think, did the second ascent a couple days later. I think Nale did the third. But it's one of the hardest climbs in the United States. But it takes all of them out there working it together to, like, put it into fruition.
Yeah, like, who's to say that if it was just Jimmy out there, would it have actually gone?
Yeah, if it was just him and a
if
pad.
If it was him and, 20 pads for safety or whatever, could he have pulled it?
You have no idea. And that's like when we were talking to Paul Robinson, like I asked him about that because he projects alone a lot. And he even puts up climbs outdoors alone. And I'm like, dude, where do you get the motivation? You put me alone, you take away my accountability. I'm like,
Yeah.
There comes a point where you're like, dude, I'm just going to get a beer. Like, this isn't working right now. Yeah.
Maybe it's work ethic. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But
maybe we're just lazy.
We're team players. Yeah.
True.
Make us sound better than we are.
Yeah.
That's what I do, baby.
But honestly,
the
like,
host.
like I remember our OG like climbing crew back in like last year.
Back in
Last
2018.
year, 2018.
Back in the day,
Back in
boy.
Nam. But yeah, we used to go like every night. Like it was clockwork. Like just
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
It was 9:00. Everybody showed up, and we just.
I just pulled 10% harder when we were all together.
It's true, dude.
Dude, man, there's two things, like shirt weight and the pressure of a Sen train.
True.
God, dude, being third or fourth in a Sen train.
A
You're so
shirtless
deep.
Sen train.
Yeah, shirtless Sen. If everyone's popped the shirts off,
A half
and
naked train of dudes climbing.
it's one of the most dangerous situations for your ego that you could ever be in, because
Yes.
if you're the guy that screws it up, you don't get to live it down. Like it's just like I was the one. Like.
And like even like after your session, you're just like, oh, I can't climb anymore. Then like somebody's like, so add on or
Someone walks into the gym that
Yeah.
hasn't been climbing
Yeah.
for 7
Like,
hours. Yeah.
It'd be
Dang
dope
it.
if we just warmed up with some add-on. Come on, guys. It'll be gentle. It'd be fun.
You look down at your blood-stricken fingers. All right, cool.
I can do it.
but
Let's get some.
yeah, like Ryan, like he'd be like,
Oh, dude, he was
let's
the
run
epitome.
4x4s. I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Just never ran out of gas, that guy.
I love burning out and then running 4x4s.
His favorite
favorite.
pastime. And I mean, that it shows outdoors, I will say. Like him specifically outdoors, 9 times out of 10, I'm like, I'm in a crux. I might need this guy to go give
I
it
need
a
the
shot.
hype.
Yeah, I need the hype, and I need someone who's got the energy for it. He had the energy because he was training like
Yeah.
that. But he was a self-motivator, and that was kind of the more singular side of this sport, where I feel like I can be a bit more of a team guy, where like I love hyping other people up. It's like one of my short of climbing, my second favorite thing to do is to hype other people up on the wall.
Yeah.
Like it's super exciting. But like sometimes you feel like you need that, and
Yeah.
that's where it becomes more of a team sport.
Yeah, that's
In a
like
very
it's like what
weird
we
way.
talked about last episode, like the climbing buddies and how that's important.
Yeah.
Ties into this. I mean, you have a team when you're climbing. I mean, sometimes you literally have a team. If there's youth teams and that kind of thing, but you're not all on the climb together most of the time. Again, depending on what kind of climbing you're doing. But
Yeah.
oftentimes in indoor climbing competitions, there are very few, if any, like multi-pitch indoor climbing competitions. There aren't buildings tall enough.
Yeah, I was like, how would that work?
Yeah, no. So it is a team sport. It's just a much different team sport.
Yes.
You are not relying anymore 100% on your quarterback to make a perfect pass.
Mm-hmm.
And that's rough for a couple of reasons, because, like coming from playing soccer, short of the disappointment of, missing a shot on goal, is like the disappointment of hitting a perfect assist and your teammate misses a shot on goal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you're relying a lot on other people.
Yes.
And it brings a lot of like stressful dynamic, in my opinion, stressful dynamic.
Absolutely. And something else to take into consideration is with a lot of these like team sport, like field team sports we're kind of discussing, who are you up against? You're up against a team of other people.
Yeah.
In climbing, you're against where Mother Nature decided to set this piece of rock and how she decided to cut it up. It's a very different adversary you're dealing with here.
Yeah.
And you and your team can be as solid as you want. The rock's not going to change. It's not going to bend. It's not going to run out of energy or get tired or
there's
lose
no mind
motivation.
games.
There's no mind. Yeah, it's all you.
I like to talk a little shit to the wall. You know what I mean? I get like up real close and I'm just like, you ain't shit.
Yeah.
You hear me?
I'm gonna send you.
This hold right here.
Send you
This hold, you think this is a crimp? This is a jug,
You can just
bro.
call me daddy now. All right.
Call me Adam Andre. I'm about to lock off on this crimp. And then I go a little. And then Mother Nature just reminds me,
You a bitch.
pulls me a little closer. Come here for a second. You suck.
Right to the face.
I whip straight to the ground. Kobe whips the pad out from under me.
Hey, my bad. Well, right now we'll play a video clip of me absolutely destroying Liam's elbow.
Kobe did nothing wrong. We were climbing
I
with
did
one
everything
crash
wrong.
pad.
Outdoors? I didn't
Yeah.
see that. No, is
It was
that
on
video?
the Lion's Mane.
Oh,
hidden
yeah,
Menifee.
okay.
There's like an awkward rock like that sticks out.
It does like
through
a
the stars.
step
Gross.
down,
Yeah,
and the rock like juts out.
Yeah.
and then like
So
stops, and then there's just flat. There's like it's flat ground, but there's like some rocks like down below.
Yeah.
Okay? So like just scattered. But
good landing, other than the giant rock that kind of juts out.
Yeah.
So when I started to fall was when he was about to pull the pad from the rock onto like the lower portion.
Mm-hmm.
But I've told him this many times. It's not his fault for a number of reasons. One being that as soon as he turned to the pad to grab it, first of all, it was one pad, one spotter. There were other people with us. They were just off being ding dongs. So I was like,
usually how
okay,
it
Kobe,
goes.
just hop on. I'll hop on this. You spot me real quick.
Like 5% of the people that are there are actually participating in like keeping you safe. Yeah. Most
So-
everyone else is just drinking and smoking and stuff.
So Kobe was spotting me. As soon as he went to grab the pad to pull it underneath where I now was, I just like blew off the climb, like back first to the ground.
Oh, Jesus.
it's like they're like bad slopes.
like you needed like
angled.
3 people to catch you there.
Yeah.
And you had
3
Kobe
pads.
not looking with the pad. Like
Yeah,
he was
Kobe
adjusting.
Kobe, the 1 second he looks away, and I just hit the ground, like actually just hit the ground. But the other thing too is Kobe actually made the right decision, because I would rather hit the ground, which is a good landing, than like the jutted, jagged rock.
That's true.
I would have just fallen, like it would have been in the middle of my back, pretty
Oh,
much.
it'd be like on Deadpool 2 when he fell on that table.
That's pretty much. So Kobe stopped that from happening to me. The cat is now just stealing the show. If you're not watching this on YouTube, I want to just encourage you to go watch it instead of listening.
Yeah, because wow. Okay.
But so, and there's also another flip side to this, and this is kind of subjective and definitely debatable. But for me, at least in my experience, I feel like there's some problems with, like we've been talking about, kind of like relativity of people being able to relate to climbing at all.
Yeah.
Where if you ask, let's say you take a sample size of each, 50 football players, 50 rock climbers. You ask all of them that question. Would you rather score the winning touchdown or climb, the hardest climb in the world? It would be very predictable. The
Yeah, it's
50
like, what do you
football
define
players-
as a victory?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
It would be very predictable. However, I think, in my opinion, because rock climbing is so underexposed, I think the climbers would be like, oh, it would be cool, though, to catch the winning touchdown. The Super
hell
Bowl.
yeah.
And the football players would be like, do I care about the 516?
What's a rock?
What are these
What does
numbers?
that mean? Yeah, that's
Get out of
true.
my face, bro.
Is that what
is
time
true.
it is? 5:16.
Yeah. So it's like a one-way street in some ways.
Yeah, there is a lack of knowledge. That's something I didn't really consider. But you're right. Would they even be able to make like an educated decision?
Yeah. Even
What-
if you didn't give them a number, just said the hardest climb in the world, you'd be like, so what, dude?
Yeah.
Like,
What does that even
Okay.
mean?
Like I said, like I thought rock climbing would be easy when I first
Exactly.
walked in, and just like I was wrong.
And that's not a
Lack of
stereotype
knowledge.
about football players or athletes. I'm not saying they're uneducated. I'm just saying the world is kind of uneducated
Yeah.
about
to
the
it,
sport.
yeah, it's just a
Because
niche right now, and it's
Yeah.
a very. I mean, it really became a sport in the 60s. Like that's when
Right.
it became a thing. It wasn't a necessity you did to get your civilization forward. It was just like this
Exactly.
is for fun
Yeah.
in the 60s.
First competitions.
Yeah.
Yeah. People were doing it. Yeah.
And football and all those sports were way predated that stuff. So
Yeah. And I mean, rock climbing has been around for a long time, but sports in general, I mean, the Olympics has been around for centuries, right? And so, you have athletes and sports, and it's like at a certain point, it's like hard coded into human existence, just like that kind of competition. I mean, we're talking way back into like the Roman times, right?
Exactly.
Gladiators and that kind of stuff. And I would like to see gladiators rock climb. It's just me.
I'm just saying, just round up a bunch of
just
opposing
saying.
armies that lost, just take their strongest and make them climb. No
And then
ropes.
No ropes. Just friggin' Adamandra in a metal skirt.
Yeah. Bunch of people with spears at the bottom, like, you have to go. Like,
And one guy just thumbs up. But rock climbing, I mean, with coming into the Olympics is really coming into the spotlight, like as a sport and like gaining its own legs. And
Yeah.
in my opinion, it's going to start running. And we talked again about this with pretty much everyone who's been on the show so far. Is like, this is a very interesting and dynamic time for rock climbing.
very much so.
With the Don Wall and Free Solo come out.
Exactly.
Like, just working at Vital, like, so many people have come in, like, oh, we watched Free Solo.
Just came straight into the gym.
Yeah, I was like, all right, sweet.
Whole family of people. Yeah. They're all like,
Yeah. And so,
you have anything
We're
taller?
yeah, I was like, oh my. All right,
I don't
chill.
feel a death in this one. Like,
But yeah, it's cool, like, seeing how it's like blowing up right now in this.
Yeah.
And like just watching it progress and being a part of like climbing before it blew up.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, you like rock climbing? Oh, what are 2 of their albums?
Two of their albums, exactly.
but
Don Wall and
it makes you curious, though. Like, is it going to become such a norm that it becomes like not only a sports norm where you expect to see it in the Olympics or on TV or whatever, but does it become a cultural norm? You've got, like, when you're a kid at school, you got the jocks and you got the skater kids. Are they going to be like, oh, those are the climbers? Yeah, like forget them. Those are the climbers.
I don't know. I wouldn't be that
like, would our kids
surprised
see
if
that?
it did.
Yeah, like, would our kids see that? And like, oh, those are the climber kids. Like, they're weird. Like,
The only
whatever.
reason I say that is because it's already so much more normalized than it was like when I was in high school.
Yeah, and
I
it's
never
only
knew
been a couple
about
years.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like me and my friends, we climbed, and people in high school knew we climbed because we wear like the shirts and stuff. And they had a company called J Tree Trad at the time, which was like an apparel and guidebook, online based guidebook. And so we were always wearing, the rock climbing T-shirts. And I had one that was like, they wouldn't let me wear it at school because it said J Tree Dirtbag on the back.
No.
And I was like, I love this jacket. You can't take it from me. And I still have it, and I love it. But so we were always wearing that stuff, and people were always asking questions about climbing. I actually started a rock climbing club because I had to start a club. And then I was like, well, then
Might
I'm
as
going to
well.
do about rock climbing. Yeah. And we discovered that there was T-nuts on the wall in the gym. And we're just like, yo, did you guys have a rock climbing wall at some point? And they were like, oh, it was part of the PE exercise. And I was like,
What happened to that?
bring the holds out. And of course, they're like the crappiest holds money could buy. Slippery. But yeah, we started a rock climbing club, and we actually recruited some people that were mildly interested in the sport. And so we kind of normalized it in a very small way, just in our graduating class. Mm-hmm. To a lot of the kids that we kind of knew, even people that we didn't know personally, people that we knew mutually just through other people, would be like, hey, I've seen you guys around, and I know that you rock climb. What's it all about? Can you tell me what's going on with this?
Yeah.
And that was pre-Free Solo and Don Wall. You know what I mean?
And you were able to conceive that
Yeah.
that quick, as a kid. It's just people drew an interest. It's naturally anybody can walk up and watch someone climb and realize A, how difficult and impressive it is, and B, there's something cool about the fact that I shouldn't be doing this, but I definitely want to do it,
Yeah.
And that's universal.
And I always say it's either the most natural or the least natural thing.
Yeah.
I don't know which one.
I
I don't think you ever find out.
No.
I remember going to a 7th grade Joshua Tree trip, and it was called Boojum. I don't know why they didn't just call it Joshua Tree, but so we went out there.
Brush over that. You got Xavier with the boojum.
Dude, I don't know why, man. It's called Boojum.
Bad and boojum.
Hey,
What does that even mean?
I don't know, man. Hey, look,
Spell it for me.
BOOJUM.
Nuh-uh.
Yes, dude.
Was it an acronym? What is it?
Not even
Oh.
BOUJ.
Hey kids, let's all go to Joshua Tree. We'll call it Boojum. What's
Yeah.
the?
I have no
Who's
clue.
the pitch man on that? Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Either
but
way.
it was weird. I don't know why. But so basically we spent a night in Joshua Tree, and like we had like a bunch of guides, and we weren't allowed to like even like walk up like a rock,
Yeah.
because they'd be like, that's called bouldering and we're not allowed to do that. I was like,
What were you there
What?
to do?
just admire wildlife. And
Hike. Do you see so many people out there just
Camp.
hiking around? Just
Yeah.
That's
walking
true.
around?
There's a lot of just walking. Yeah.
Actually,
So-
it boggles my mind how many people are out there just
yeah,
walk. I get it's beautiful, but I'm like,
Oh,
we're
people,
trying to climb here.
no, there's people out there who look at you and like, what the hell are you doing up there? Like
Yeah.
they super wonder what you're doing. Like we see it as this mecca, and they see it as like kind of like a nature walk place.
Yeah, just
yeah.
National
It's-
park is pretty. I don't blame them though. It's beautiful out there.
yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, without a doubt.
No, that's pretty much. It's just, it's funny. Like,
Wrap it up.
it's because like, so I like knew about climbing, but then like never heard of it, or never heard about it like since 7th grade all the way to freshman year in not high school, college. I was just like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
Damn, is that when you started?
Yeah,
That's crazy, man.
Dude.
You've grown so fast.
dude, not physically.
So you're large. You're a large man. You feel super
You're
big
large
and strong
in my
right
mind. You seem like you got a big boojum on you.
now. I could tell just by the sound of your voice.
Big boojum energy.
Give out the big
You got
boojum.
BBE right there.
All right. So the hardest thing is that like distinction, you know what I mean? Like the dichotomy of like sports and climbing. And is climbing a sport or is climbing a lifestyle? And for most people, it's a lifestyle. Most people don't think of climbing necessarily as a sport.
I agree.
It is in a lot of ways. And, we had Liz on and we talked about how to children climbing is mostly treated as a sport because they are not yet at a point in their life when they can develop lifestyles. You know what I mean? So they haven't even decided like who they want to be with their life. So
No.
you got to kind of get a grasp on that first, and then you can develop lifestyles. But to them, it's, it's like any other sport. You put your child in, you invest into your kids liking rock climbing, and they do it. And then if it works,
See if it happens.
yeah. And if you start that young, you could be like the next generation of climber.
It's crazy.
So it's a very interesting relationship because for me, it's like so dependent upon like any sport. It's dependent upon the time you put into it.
Absolutely.
And but for me, I think a lot of it really like starts to come down to just pure like drive and dedication. I see so many people pulling themselves up the wall where like I would have fallen 5 holds back. I'm talking every sport climb ever because we don't do that. We don't do that rope
What's-
shit here,
what
dude.
sport?
I'm bouldering only.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
I got 0
I like
endurance.
sport.
I got -5 endurance. I
got
see
a couple
someone
draws on
10
me.
moves in, and I'm like, oh,
And then
you can
That
come
was
down, dude.
stupid.
It's good. Just drop down. I'll take. It's good.
I see a boulder like more than 5 moves. So is this a 5'11" or 5'12"?
5:15. Is this silence? This looks like silence.
Yeah. True.
Is
enough.
that silence? But I think for me, that's like the biggest difference that it comes down to is just the exposure and like the understanding, the general understanding. Like, and we were talking about like how cool it is when you see, a group of climbers that all are like the strongest climbers in the world, all tackling kind of one thing together and how it becomes a team sport. And you also have like the flip side of that. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen the proposed V17 that Nale put up. Yeah, it's rough. Look up the Lapnor project, Lappnor. They made a short video about it. I think
Okay.
you actually have to pay for it now that I think about it. I think it's on Vimeo. And you
Oh,
have
it's
to-
like
you have to
that.
pay for
Okay,
it.
yeah.
But I'm sure, Rock and Ice Climber Magazine done articles about it. But I paid for it and I watched it because I wanted to see a, proposed V17,
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like, people fighting around that of like, well, it's a V17, says the one guy who's done it.
Yeah.
But then also like no one else has done it.
What defines the next
it's
move?
all subjective
Yeah, it's
anyways.
extreme.
Yeah,
All
he's
the
done
previous-
V16s.
So I'm assuming he might know what a V17 feels
Yeah,
like.
you would think. And Nale is crazy strong.
Yeah.
I mean, like seldom does someone put up a climb outdoors that he doesn't do.
Yeah.
So and he's crushing it, and it's a beautiful climb, and it's rough. Like 45-degree, bad, like negative crimps. Like it's rough.
Sounds lovely.
Yeah, and it's really cool, and the video is really well done. Also, the Lapnor project, but I don't remember the name of the actual climb. And if I remember like what it sounds like. I may not be able to pronounce it anyways, but it's really cool. And
Yeah.
the world supposedly, or proposed anyways, the world's first V17 pending another ascent to confirm or deny that. But you want to be the guy to tell him no? 'Cause I'm not-
I don't know who's gonna go out there and do it.
Yeah.
It's
do it,
Sharma or
guys.
someone's
Let's
gonna have
do
to
it.
go
Let's go
check
do
it
it.
out.
Guys, let's
Yeah.
do it.
We got time.
Let's top rope it.
But maybe you need like maybe stop. I'll just go bolt up his project real quick.
At the top.
Soft.
Put in some anchors.
No, but and maybe it'll take a team. Maybe it'll take a group of climbers to go out there, and I'll put it down together, kind of like how they tackled Sleepwalker together.
Yeah.
You know?
Sweet.
That's-
Maybe that's kind of what it comes down to. So it is and isn't a team sport. I think for me, it's always in climbing, don't compete against other people. Always just compete against yourself last time you climbed.
100%.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with that. It's no matter who's cheering you or anything. In that small moment when you're kind of deciding if you're going to pull the next move or if you're probably going to pop off or not, it's just you in reality. There's no one can really do anything for you there. I think that's what makes it so great, though. That's what makes it so special, is that you're not competing against a predictable human. It's just a rock that's there, and how you decide you want to stand up to it.
Yeah, like every time you get a high point, you're just like on a project, you're just like, suck it, old me. Like,
yeah.
like it's a sweet feeling. You're like, dude, I just beat myself. Like, and it's like, it's also like you like realize your progression and like just how far you've come. Like, just making even one more move, sticking that one move that you couldn't do like yesterday is like just the greatest feeling, dude. It's like sweet.
Yeah, I think like my favorite feeling is like getting off of a climb and coming down and like looking back up at it and going like, what the hell was I doing there? Like,
Dude,
yeah,
what made me think that was a good idea? Like, that looks stupid. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very few sports also like is your progress so measurable.
Yeah.
Climbing literally has numbers, which I mean, there's some discrepancy there, but climbing literally has numbers for you to measure your own progression. And it's, most other sports you're measuring your progression against other athletes.
Like based on data and
yeah, often. So it's like, depends on who you're playing against or where you're playing.
what era you're in.
There's no home field advantage with climbing. You're never home.
You are always the visiting team.
Exactly.
It is always snowing on the Super Bowl. You decide if you want to make the catch.
You are always Michael Jordan with the flu.
Yeah.
NBA Finals. That's permanently me climbing. Every time I get on my V6 project at the gym, I am Michael Jordan with the flu. NBA Finals.
Let's
But-
make this movie happen.
I feel like even like, cause I feel like if your home gym, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Like, the holds, like the setters,
That's true.
and then you go to like different one, and then that's like
That's the real test.
that's the real test,
Yeah.
dude.
Can I
different
just
setters.
walk in somewhere
Yeah.
and kill it?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and different gyms differ depending on, like you said, hold selection is a big one for me. I go to other gyms sometimes and I'm like, I've never seen that hold before. And from
Cool
down
holds
here,
too, though.
I can't see the top of it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to slap it and
I'm
we're
gonna
going to see how it feels. Yeah, just blow right
that's a
off
foot
it.
hold. Oh,
Little slap check.
Oh,
Little slap
no.
check.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's really interesting the way that dynamic works. But there's like advantages and disadvantages that just don't come into play in climbing.
yeah.
But I mean, it's just hard, period. So
It's very difficult.
yeah. So for you guys, mentally at least, how do you think? And we'll close with this. How do you think it compares for you, like personally? How does it compare to team sports? When you think like specifically about like successes, like we're just talking about, like the breakthrough moments in climbing. Because I remember, seldom can I remember being more stoked, than when you score a goal to put your team ahead, in
totally.
like an important soccer match, right? And so, like, how does that compare with the personal victories in climbing for you guys?
I mean, I guess for me, like, I don't know. It's like weird because climbing, I always like every time I finish a climb, like I finish a project, it like the personal victory is like, it's like sweet. Like if it's like a new grade that I've never like said before, like
Sure.
it's just like, dude, what? Like when I found out like sent that, I was like, dude, it's crazy. But like I feel like when you do like say score a goal, and I don't know, I feel like for me maybe it's just because I rock climbing is like at a high for me right now.
Yeah.
I think for me it's a better feeling than that, which is weird, but I will say that I am like a people's pleaser, so like I like scoring a goal, like helping out my team, like that's that feeling is just like, oh, sick. Like
That's the thing you don't have in climbing.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. Like I when I see people climbing, like I wish I could help him like succeed, but not beta spray. Yes.
None of that crap.
Yes.
Help him succeed.
Yes.
Just hose him down with
Yeah.
He'll succeed.
So besides beta spraying, like I wish I could like
Build support.
give him support, but like that is an awesome feeling when you're like, all right, like I helped out my team, I did my part, and to get us into like the next game and like win that one. So it's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
That's cool too. There's too many sides.
Yeah.
It's tricky, and it is apples and oranges, but
Yeah.
it's supposed to be different. You know what I
Yes.
mean? That's why we're here.
It's tough to first off like make that distinction, that kind of like you're saying with apples and oranges. And I personally, once again, because like climbing's become a bit of a high for me, and don't get me wrong, I love team sports, and it's super cool to just like have a crew of people who can watch your back. But I think there's something just a lot more, for lack of better terms, just like spiritual and emotional about finishing a climb personally, because at the end of the day, you come down and you realize I was capable of that the whole time. It was 100% in my head.
Yeah.
When you're playing soccer, you're kind of like, we'll use soccer since that's something we're all kind of similar on. Yeah. It's you strike the ball and it's like, what's the goalie capable of? Did I put enough spin on it? Did this, like, is he going to be able to anticipate? Climbing, it's just like, can I pull that? Like, is it there? It's there. So now it's up to me to pull it, you know? And, you know, like, I know you guys don't like ropes or sport or anything like that, but like the whole fear factor on top of it, it's like, okay, like I mentally pushed past the fear. I like kept myself alive as far as the rope game went. And to get to the top of something that, once again, when you think about what people are supposed to be able to do physically, we're not really supposed to be doing. We're not like lizards that are supposed to be able to like run up walls right after we're born. So to defy what we're meant to do is so special to me, you know?
That's cool.
And there are parts of it that it does suck to not have like a team behind you that like I scored for the team and like he passed to me and so passed to me and he blocked him, and like it's cool that we all did it together. That camaraderie, it does die a little bit, but you trade it for like this personal value and like, wow, I'm truly capable of whatever I decide I'm capable of. And I think that's why I keep doing it. It's just like, every time I push the envelope, I surprise myself. Yeah. And it's that whole like Matthew McConaughey. I don't know if you guys heard that speech where he's like, you're supposed to be competing with yourself 10 years in the future. It's like, okay, what is me a couple moves ahead going to be doing here? Like, I should be thinking that way. And I feel like it bleeds into your life. It kind of starts, it's a lifestyle. It really starts defining how you handle everyday struggles, you know? And that's where it sits with me, at least. Yeah.
Ryan, Josh, Pummel, if you're listening, I love ropes. Thank you for taking me there.
We like ropes.
But just not as much as bouldering.
We're bouldering boys, but I like sport climbing.
I'm here to defend ropes for you guys. I'm in the rope corner. Thank you.
I like and appreciate sport climbing.
I do.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do not, however, appreciate that crack shit.
I like crack climbing.
I'm just kidding. It's
I
cool.
think
I like crack climbing.
Crack's fun.
I feel like I just don't like it because I suck at it.
I
think I like it because I suck at it.
It's just a meme to hate it. So I gotta be a meme.
Oh no, I'm with you.
What it's me.
It's expensive
I'm
too.
in the spotlight.
I don't really dig all the money. That gets old quick.
Yeah, that's a whole nother. I mean, I guess
that's another podcast.
Other sports are expensive too, but.
And this is the start. Welcome back to another Vertical Thoughts.
Episode 2. We're just back to back. The cat has now joined us on the podcasting table.
It is currently 1 a.m. and
let's do this.
Let's do it.
Back by popular request. Kobe Daludado.
Oh, Twilight Zone. That was weird.
Yeah, but that's like really good points. And you do trade off like putting the team on your back. Not that you do that in soccer, but in your moment of victory, let's say, and isolated to that moment of when you kick the ball and it goes into the goal. or when you step foot in the touchdown and in your hands, or step foot in the end zone, you catch the football and you score a touchdown, or when you sink a shot in basketball, whatever you're doing, in like that moment of victory, it's you. Yeah, I mean, it's your whole team that led up to that.
Yeah.
But like when you do the thing, like it's just you're trading off that whole like, I'm doing this for my team, I'm doing this for my fans, I'm doing this for the logo on my chest. You know what I mean? Like all that, it's a whole different dynamic, and I'm not demeaning that at all. That's a totally different and also extremely respectable way to do something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To do it for a team. That's like a beautiful thing. And like you said, like with, like multi-pitch and sport climbing and those big like climbing ventures, you know what I mean? And like mountaineering and that kind of stuff, you have a team behind you.
Yes.
And so there's the same dynamic, but you traded in the moment of success for a personal victory. And I'm with you. I mean, to me, it's worth more. Just like in my psyche, I guess it's worth more to me. Like I remember getting to the top of my first V8 and just being like, dude, I was so done not climbing V8. Like,
And then not having the video after.
we don't talk about it. But I had just plateaued for so long. Just every V8 that was set in every gym, I could like do all but one move or pull on all but one hold. And I just got sick of it. And I remember just sitting at the top of that and just being like, dude, like it's surreal. Like a surreal moment. Not like I couldn't believe I could do that, but like I can't believe it took me so long to do that.
Yeah. And
But
here we are.
But I did it. Yeah. And I'm at the top and like it's over. Like, and for me, it did something mentally like that you would not believe. Like I just felt indestructible.
I feel like I've noticed
weeks.
a change in you. No, just like in the way you've climbed ever since you started hitting V8s, like your attitude has changed. Yeah.
Hitting that plateau can really like knock you down. And
It's super mental.
you have like rough spots in sports too, like even in team sports, like the same thing, but it's not so personal where it's like, I can't do this.
Yeah, it's like
Or
me and
I'm
my
not.
team are struggling against this other team.
We're
Yeah,
having
it's
a
different.
hard time. I still say that though with rock climbing. Yeah, we're having a hard time. People are like, I'm like,
It's a tough patch.
okay, it's me. Is that what you want to hear?
My
I'm
10
weak.
friends. Me and my 10 teammates.
Me and my 10 sweaty, calloused friends. 12 if you count your shoes.
Oh, I didn't think about
Give
that.
your shoes some credit, Kobe. Shout out your sponsors.
Shout out to Vertical Thoughts.
We're coming out with a line of climbing shoes.
They are. And
not.
actually, it's the first climbing shoes that...
We'll feature Walt Disney characters.
So the first ones are Pinocchios. They're coming out soon.
And every time you don't
Pinocchio
stem, they go
LV.
up a size.
It's No Stem November, guys. So remember that.
It
All right.
is May...
Whenever they're listening to this, it's
24th.
not anymore, so it
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
And we'll be long dead.
All right,
for
we're going to
talking about
release this in
Disney.
June. Wait, November.
It's No Stem November.
No
And
Stem
with
November, baby.
that, by popular request, we brought these boys back. They're beautiful. They're intelligent. Take your shirt off.
No.
Yeah.
We were this close,
can't.
ladies and gentlemen. Maybe on the next episode. But
It's always the next one.
Xavier, Kobe, my friends, do you have any final thoughts for the listeners, the fans, the people at home? Brooke Rabbit too, if she's listening. The cat's now eating my computer, by the way.
Not really.
That's fair. You don't have to. You don't
Yeah,
have to have
I mean,
final
I don't know
thoughts.
what to say.
I was trying to tell people that. Like, do you have final thoughts?
I got
It's
one.
cool
I
if
got
you
one.
don't.
I got one
Okay.
final thought.
All right.
Thank you, Liam.
You're welcome.
For having this.
Sure.
Beautiful place.
Mm-hmm.
And just opening it up. And working 70-hour weeks that feel like 70-hour days.
This man works.
Work 70
works
hours a
hard.
day.
You're a savage.
Thanks, bro.
No problem. Is this the level that you wanted me to? Sure. That's good. All right. Perfect.
You guys are out of control.
Agreed.
I will say that I appreciate that you do this, and I'm always down to do this because like shows and podcasts like this when I first started climbing were what made me comfortable enough to go into the gym and try new things, you know, and to attack something, because it's one thing to see like the giants that we see on TV or on videos that have been climbing for 20, 30 years and they're all pros. Things like this bridge the gap, and it's like, oh wow, real people do this, and real people aren't perfect, and they're kind of working their way up, and there's people who are where I am, and now all of a sudden they are where they are. So all I can say is like, if anyone hears this and they're new to this and they're kind of wondering if they should jump into it, just go both feet. Like, you really have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Like, all you'll do is learn a couple new things, and if you don't like it, you don't like it. That's cool. Like, but give it a shot.
Yeah, dude, give it a shot. Like,
Yeah, it really hurts nobody.
Yeah, like just dive headfirst into the sport, because right now is the best time to do it.
Yeah.
It's evolving, it's changing, it's developing in a way that's going to be, it's going to stagnate at some point. You want to join it, when it's on the uphill rise, when the community is lifting up like it is right now. Get in with it now, because it's going to get better. It's going to get faster, and it's going to get more well known, and the climbing sport is going to be kind of shown to the world. And I think it's going to be more widely respected is what we're hoping for. So
that's what I hope for. Yeah.
So I absolutely agree with that. I mean, if you're listening to this, I know we do have a lot of newer climbers or people maybe that don't climb too much that do listen to this. We're living, breathing evidence that you don't have to be a Jimmy Webb. You don't have to be a Daniel Woods. You don't have to be a Chris Sharma to rock climb. You know what I mean? Just do it the best that you can. And then the next time you rock climb, do it better than the best you could do it last time. That's all you got to do. Just do that every time. And then, the main thing is just count those personal victories and really get involved in yourself. I mean, like you said earlier, Xavier, there's like a spiritual experience with rock climbing. Very true. And Brianna's episode, Brianna Tucker, we talked about how rock climbing affects you mentally, in your mental health even. And it's a spiritual event, having that kind of a personal victory that's so close to home that you and your body just did something amazing, unlike anything else. So I absolutely agree with that 100%. Dive headfirst into it because it's freaking cool.
Yeah.
And make sure you listen to Vertical Thoughts, because you'll climb
five
grades harder.
Yeah. You want to bump a couple grades? Just listen to Vertical Thoughts.
To Vertical Thoughts.
Yeah.
It's like steroids, but it's cool. It's cool. You can do it.
But I mean,
everyone's
you'll still
doing
get to live.
Yeah.
It's weird because you actually do, because we're talking about this, and you actually do. You actually do.
You do.
Kobe's living evidence.
Watch this.
Kobe was a shrimp.
Give yourself a raise.
It doesn't raise up as fast as I thought.
It's all about patience, kids.
Patience is a virtue. Also, yeah.
Thank you, Kobe.
This has been Vertical Thoughts, episode 14 with Kobe.
And
Scene.
cut.
Thanks for listening.